Hi music nerds! I'm often being asked, how do I start a piece? Like, what is my process when I receive a commission and I have no idea how the music is gonna sound like yet? Well, although I think there is no right and wrong with composition, I came up with this technique to write faster. As a composer, I love to shape the music so it evokes something else. So for me, the first step is always to find a compelling extra musical idea. But then, what do I do with this idea? How do I not get lost in front of all the possibilities of music? Well, I simply draw a map. So what do I mean by a map? It's actually a mix between a timeline and a map, and it helps me to know how to get from the top to the end of the piece. So let's say I've received a commission for a 12-minute piece for orchestra. For example, I can decide to split this 12-minute piece into 3 different sections of 4 minutes each. Then I will sketch, draw on these lines what I want the music to do in terms of intensity, directions, etc. So I might decide to start with a slow movement and a theme, a first melody starting from nothing and doing a small movement up and down, and then repeat that same melody but with a bigger intensity and a bigger amplitude. And since I've already decided that my first movement is going to be 4 minutes long, I know that this first part needs to be 2 minutes, repeated twice. For the second section, I can decide to start maybe with a scan jump and then almost nothing for 1 minute, and then do a small crescendo for 1 minute, then slightly bigger crescendo for another minute, and then a last big crescendo for the last minute of that section. And after this big crescendo, I know I'm gonna start this last section very intense, and then maybe decrease the intensity very progressively for 2 minutes, and then for the very last part, maybe repeat the very first theme I had in the piece. And remember, so far, I have no idea what are the themes or the musical elements of the piece yet. So this technique helps me to see the whole composition into smaller chunks of music that are easier to compose. And I know where I'm going. Now, how do I get there? Well, it's now that I start sketching ideas on my keyboard. In that phase of my compositional process, I try to not waste my time finding the best idea, but rather go with the first idea I like and make it work. Because I realize in composition it's not really about the quality of your first idea, but rather what you do with it that is important. And thanks to my extra musical inspiration and my timeline map, it helps me to move quickly with this idea. So these are my 3 tips to start composing quickly. Find an extra musical inspiration, draw a timeline map, stick to a few ideas and make them work. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comment. Stay in touch and stay in tune. Bye bye.